about keeping that belief alive. It's about keeping the community alive. And it's about representing people at a time of change in a way that cares for them, in a way that people feel like you're not just pushed to the side and you're not just going through a process, you're not just here to go through motions, you're a person with a soul, with a heart, and we have a responsibility to you to show up every day on your behalf, and that's what I think it's for. That's why I think we are here.
I was actually talking to one of my professors, and we agree that we need to speak up. If UCL and IOE is not entirely opposed to the meeting or respecting other areas, we still need people to speak for us because we're a diverse institute. We have lots of students and we can't be expected to be bent to their will. I think that we still need people to speak for us. Just agree. I think there is a point, and it's a strong point, because as long as we can, although we're maintaining our identity as the IOE, it's important that regardless of whether there's 3 presidents or 1 president, that our voices are heard. And for as long as we can, each and every one of us, whoever you decide to vote for, will protect your interests and make sure for as long as we can that they are protected. And if all else fails, if UCL does take over, let's go over the land, let's show them what we can do. Let's be happy.
What you need is someone who will come to the post with less emotional baggage, and that's why it's very important to have a student elected, because we can employ our negotiation skills in a way that we will be able to safeguard the values of the students and not necessarily our personal values. So it's very important to have a voice moving forward, because at this point we don't know where the student union will stand in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, but as it is now, there is a student union that will operate, and we want to maintain and preserve that.
Alright, I think this is the time that we need a representation to make sure that we have what we think is our right, what we think we need to have. B, say in a given circumstances, we will have to give our union away. See, I'm in a meeting that I come to know that this is the scenario and this is what we need to do. Keeping my prejudices, my ideas aside, I will weigh the pros and cons and I will present the scenario to you. You will tell me what you want. If you are okay with the scenario, conditions apply, we go ahead with that. If you want to fight, I will bring the roof down. So it is up to you to tell me what you want and we'll strive for that. Thank you.
Bring it down! Bring it down!
I think the question to ask, what's the point of elections, almost sort of ask the question, what's the point of democracy? We're having these elections because don't we believe in a democratic society? Don't we believe the right of students at the IOE to have a students' union? If we give up on the elections, we give up on our democratic right. That's what I fundamentally believe. And also we give up on the fight. If we stop now, it's saying we don't care, we don't want this. And I don't believe that's true. I believe that students here do want a students' union that is going to speak to them, that is going to work for them, represent them. And if you don't have representation at this point of time, when our rights are being challenged by the senior management, by this proposed merger, and you have no voice in that process, then who is there to protect what we have and to fight for what we need going forward?
To work, first of all, for the curious students in order to service them at this time and this situation. And of course, to work for the future IOE students in order to protect their rights as a whole. After, of course, a negotiation
Hi everyone. Again, excellent speeches. But the truth is, we've heard speeches before, last year, the year before. Presidents come, they make promises, once again in the office, nothing. Okay? So my question is, how would you ensure your accountability? How would you make sure that your accountability and integrity is held, and what will you do to ensure it? And, tricky question, if the students were not happy with you, if the students say, well, you're not doing your job, would you resign?
I never make a promise that I can't keep. I'm not promising students things that I can't change. I'm promising that I'm going to do the best that I can within my capacity to make sure that you have the best student experience that I can possibly help you achieve. And if that isn't enough, which for some people it might not be, if I can't change enough to help people and do my job, which I'm passionate about, if I can't do that, I would resign. Because I've came into this job, or want to come into this job thinking I can do the best I absolutely can, and if that's not enough, somebody else needs to do that.
Similarly to chess, I can orally proclaim that I will live up to my expectation, but I can also point out that all of us we had to sign the trustee form when we applied, which means that there is some amount of accountability that we owe to the students and the student union. So outside of proclaiming it orally, we are accountable by virtue of even signing that form when we apply. And if I would resign, yes I would, because students are the one who elect you into office, and students are the one who have the right to remove you as well.
Well, to begin with, if I'm elected, outside my door will be my manifesto, big version of my manifesto, and below that, big bold letters saying hold me accountable and not my working hours. Secondly, in case if I get to know that students are not happy, they're unhappy about anything, I am not a quitter. I will go ahead and I'll make sure that I correct myself and prove it that the manifesto that's on my door means something to me. It is something that I will stick by no matter what. Thank you.
Absolutely, I believe in democracy, as I've said, so we are accountable to the student body as the democratic process that elect us. But I do believe within this that you should be accountable not just to the loudest voice, but to every person in the room, every person that actually can't speak in that room, or doesn't feel that they can speak up in it either. And for that it means reaching out and connecting with everyone and making sure you're having conversations with people all the time, day in, day out, whilst you're doing work, not just being influenced by those who feel that they can shout loudly. For me, that's being accountable to the people I work for every day. In terms of the resigning, like I said, we're elected democratically, and I believe that if in that process people felt that you weren't doing as good a job as they wanted, or that if you weren't doing the job that the majority of people felt you needed to do, or the right person at that right time, then yes, I would say let the best person do it, because that's what's in the interest of all students.
Thank you. I have been a student in the University of London for 7 years and at the Institute for 3 years. I possess different positions and I went through many difficulties, and always on my experience, my heritage in a sense, and people that know me, they know that I never give up for the common good, in order to achieve the common good. It wasn't an easy decision this is my mission. This will be my mission. Of course, if I believe that there will be anyone at a certain point that can serve you in a better way, I might step up. So I think I will try to do my best and I will work hard.
I think that I value reflection and reflexivity a lot. And I think that in this position, I'm coming into this position because I believe that I've reflected on not only my competencies from my previous experiences in student affairs and student development and judicial affairs, but also whether or not I can carry those experiences positively into this position, grow as a person, grow as an officer, and grow as a student. And I think that upon reflection, if there's a degree of reflexivity that requires, for whatever reason, I can't do the job, some extraordinary thing happens, I would absolutely be open to change. But I would have to say that I come in expecting myself to produce a level of excellence. I am committed to doing the job well. If I didn't believe I could do the job to a degree of excellence or well, I wouldn't be sitting in front of you. There are others who can. So I think that it's given that. It's given the idea that I care about the reflection, I care about the reflexivity, I care about the process. I think the process is important. That the process will carry me as far as it can, because I will work as hard as I can. Thank you.
All I can say is I care about the students and I care what you think. And if I believe that I've done something that isn't legit, I guess, or something disappointing to the student body, then I will take responsibility for that. And I think even if I don't think I did something wrong, if you think I did something wrong, that's then estimated that I did something wrong. As to the quitting, I think that I'll do what's best for the university and the students. If all of you think that I'm terrible and that you want to find someone who's better suited, then yeah, I would agree with you and I would quit immediately if that pleased you. But if you all believe that I wasn't doing a good job, but I was the right person for it and I needed a bit of guidance, that I think is also a good point and I would persevere. Yeah.
Last two questions actually. Considering the threats that are posed by the merger and also the master planning exercise to do with potential budget, time, space, etc., how feasible, how suitable, and how flexible are the manifestos that you've just told us?
Well, personally, for my manifesto, I have at the last stage my implementation process, which speaks to how I will go about achieving these things that I propose. Clearly, we're pressed for funds, so there will be need for fundraising, sponsorship from non-government organizations, and many other creative means of getting funds into the student union. And that's what I'm thinking. That's the light in which I'm thinking and the way in which I'm planning to go forward. Because clearly it will take a creative mind and a creative way of doing things to take us to where we want to go in terms of these wonderful manifestos which we have created. Thank you.
No, I'm just trying to be higher up.
What were the three words that you used? Feasible, suitable, flexible, 100% for all those three as my manifesto is concerned. To begin with, I had said clear communication, which to begin with is the problem with the UCL. In my case, I joined in October with folder of the clue to know that there's merger. I had no clue there was some kind of strategy. Strategic partnership going on. I had no clue that was going on. And just one fine day that we were told that there's merger. To begin with, yes, communication. 2, feedback. Again, when I go to a committee and there is something being decided, could be confidential, embargoed, then I need to know the reason why, and I also very importantly need to know how much and what else can I go and tell the students. I cannot just one fine day wake up and give some kind of information. I have to feed everybody some amount of information at a regular period of time, especially during these kind of drastic changes. I talk about transparency, keep it clear in case of finances, in case of any policies or activities. I talk about better support to students. Yes, especially during, after, post the merger. Thank you.
Feasibility. I think the first thing is make sure you don't over-promise. So within my manifesto, I made sure that what I was speaking about are the real concerns this year, and that is retaining the space that we have, retaining the services that we have, retaining the resource, and that means going to the management here and arguing the case for why our block grant, why our funding needs to continue at its current level. That means justifying the value of the Students' Union, which I talked addressing my manifesto. I believe fundamentally in the worth of the Institute of Education. I believe in what it represents to this community, to the national community and internationally. Feasibility. Well, suitability, I talk about what the Institute actually represents and what it means to all of us. So I think that is about understanding our student body and speaking suitably and appropriately to the students that we actually have. And that comes from the experiences that I've had over the last 3 years here, being a student here, but also working in the Students' Union and talking to people, getting to know the students, but also getting to know the academics, getting to know the staff here and management here, and knowing what is actually possible, what is achievable, and what is it that we can fight for. And the last one? Well, flexibility. Flexibility comes down to being able to react to situations as they're put to you. This year, we've had the Master Estates Planning exercise. We also had the merger. Those were things that we were not expecting, and we had to respond to them as current officers, and we did. And we were constantly thinking about what is it that we need to do in our roles as representatives. How can we respond to these situations, ensuring that we maintain the integrity and the value and the worth of what we have, and defending it.
We have almost 6,000 students. It's a big community, and based on that, we can definitely support that. A student union only for institute of education is worth of having such a student union. But apart from this, as I said in my 2 points, that I will use my position in the Finance and General Purposes Committee to negotiate on tuition fees and cost and get the best possible deals for students, for our students. A survey that took place 2 years ago showed that the accommodation fees of UCL are much cheaper than ours. So I think in that negotiation environment, market environment, as we can have losses and not gains, we can at least support that our fees will not increase or even decrease. The tuition fees is an issue because there are programs this year that are much more expensive than our programs. Our programs are much cheaper than ours. We need to make sure that we will be part of this process and our voice will be heard, not to have the increases, and then support and then campaign to maintain this space. This space is for us, it's for your rent and for your work, for your study, and we need to keep it in order for you to experience, have better social experience here at this. Yes, that's all I guess.
So, the manifesto that I wrote is about keeping the student at the center of the process, regardless of what's going on around. So, to me, the suitability of that is that it holds sort of as the exemplar expectation, that the student stays at the center of that, and I continue to work to liaise between the student's voice and the administrators and faculty and staff of the IOE, which I have already done and will continue to do. The feasibility of it, I think, not just keeping the student at the center, but also being open to the different ideas that are coming through from the students, staff, faculty, etc., as their experience is shaped by the things that are going on around them. The IOE's merger, potential merger to UCL, and the Master Estates plan, there's a lot of fluidity to that right now that we are all just learning about kind of on the go. And it's about maintaining a positive attitude and a positive expectation of that to produce an optimal outcome that serves the students at the center of that process. I'm a very flexible person, but I believe that that's because I have a very strong set of values and beliefs, and that those should reflect the students. The point of my position, of any of these positions, is to keep the student at the middle and to work from the student into the process, and to keep that student voice present and accurate and open, and I think that's what I would work for.
Again, I think communication is key. Not everybody knew about the IOE and UCL proposed merger. And I found out because I come down there quite often, but lots of people, my course and others, weren't aware of it. And I think that we need to work on that part as well. With flexibility, I guess there's two sides to that point. We can be flexible to the students here and give them what they want, or we can be flexible to UCL and give them what they want. I think that it would be best to be flexible to students here. And I don't think that 7,000 students can fit in the UCL student union, which is smaller than ours, I think less than half the size. And I think it would be inappropriate to expect us to join with theirs. And I think there's general consensus between all the candidates that this has to be for, and I agree with it because it does. I think that I haven't really, as Amber said, overpromised anything in my manifesto, or even overtly promised anything specific, because until we're sure what ground we're on, it would be kind of dangerous to make promises we can't keep. And I think what needs to be done is information needs to be gathered, and then we can make decisions from that. And I think we can, it's pretty feasible that we can assume we can keep here, we fight for it, and I think we will.
My manifesto basically is to support, and I think that encompasses all three of your and to support, that means supporting students and the students' decisions, but it also means supporting the decisions of the powers that be, and with that you get a discrepancy, but you get a compromise. So we can't always fight for what the students want, and we can't always fight for what the powers that be want, but we can make a compromise and work together as a team to make sure that everybody is singing from the same page. Does that make sense?
Hey guys, I have two questions. I don't know if I should tell you both immediately or just start with one. The first one is, well, all of you have said pretty things on Wednesday as well, like very interesting for yourselves, I'm really interested as well how you plan to work as a team, because you're not going to be president by yourself. We need to work as a team, and I haven't heard any of you actually really talking about that. I'm really interested how you want to address this issue.
Okay, so I've got the microphone, so I'll take this. And then we'll work around who's next. Basically, we don't know who we're going to be working with yet, but I think between us all, we can make a solid team which will give the best to the students. Because we don't know who we're going to be placed with, some of us aren't going to be in, some of us are, we haven't really developed a structure, we haven't developed teams, we haven't developed anything. But because we all share the same ideas, which is to improve the IOE, which is to improve student experience, which is to improve pretty much everything that we think is failing, and we agree on a lot of things, we will work as a team, whoever is involved, to make sure that you get the best out of what you're here for. So that just makes sense, but do you know what I mean?
Yes, I did speak to my interpersonal skills, and I spoke about negotiating with colleagues and other key stakeholders, so that would take in some amount of teamwork. But just to follow up on what Jess said about teamwork, just being a part of this campaign, we have all kind of come together as a part of a team, if I must say that myself. Not speaking about the others who are running against me, but even in the other posts where Jess, Annie, and Zach, I wouldn't have a problem working with any one of them, to be honest, because they all come with their own strengths, and I see where they could work in that area. Valanto, I know her personally, and I know she can work in her area. So teamwork would not be an issue for me. Actually, I wouldn't have any mental baggage coming to the post with. Thank you.
Hi. A, I've been talking about that I believe in teamwork. B, say I am elected and I have 2 other part-time presidents working with me. There are going to be innumerable times when we would be fighting and wanting to pull each other's hair and fight and do all of that, obviously. But then, I'm sure for all 3 of us, the base is that when we come out of the room discussing, debating, arguing, fighting, is what is the best for the students, what is that the students would appreciate, and it has nothing to do with what any of us personally think is right, culturally think is right, any of our assumptions kept aside. It is just about what you want, what is good for you, and we first of all make sure that we know what is that you want from us.
I think the thing with teamwork is respect. Respecting the people that you work with, and also understanding that we are all different, we have different strengths, and we have different reasons that we will be there, but to know that our shared goals and our shared values mean that we all have a goal that we're working towards, which is we're here to represent students, we're here to improve the lives of students. So if you work on the basis that we all have that starting point, that goal, that you, even though you can be different within that, you respect each other's differences, you listen to each other, you learn from each other. I mean, the skills that I've gained this year, learning from Deanna, the current president, have been invaluable about how to engage and how to include everyone in that decision-making process, and to be actively listening and respectful of your differences, of your strengths, and to share that collective vision of where you're going.
Thank you. We are all different people, different personalities, with strengths, with values, with a different cultural package in us. Definitely teamwork is very important. You can't offer if you are not able to work with other people, admitting your weaknesses and asking for help, support, ideas, views. Because basically we are not perfect. We try to do our best. And what I wanted to say is that, you know, Gemma was one of the other candidates. Now I am the only candidate for the position of President for Financial Services. She withdrew a few days ago, and I went approached her and I asked her what are her views about financial services role. Because always communicating with people, we are not enemies, we are here to offer, as simple as it's that. Our fight is not a fight between us, it's a fight for students' common good. I guess, yes. 47 more seconds, that's good. Alright, yes, so we need to do our best to work together to get more information, to get support from other people, and basically we cannot promise that we will make the difference, we will change the world, because there are positives now we can keep and build on, there are negative